Get money, what you say, huh? What's up, money getters? It's your girl Charity, and I am the mommy money getter. And y'all already know I'm in these internet streets getting to that bag. That's right, that content bag. And just like me, a lot of other mommies are in these YouTube streets getting to the bag, okay? But as you know, all mommy content creators are not created the same. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Peach McIntyre, Queen of Kings, Raising Kates, all of the ones that I know about. And there's plenty, plenty more. And if you know some mommy bloggers or mommy content creators that you want to talk about, put it in the chat. Okay? And no, 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 no. If we're not here to bash anyone, that's not what this is about. We're just going to have a powwow and just discuss how the mommy sector is going, what we love about it, what we don't like about it so much. What are we going to do today? We are going to take a deep dive into mommy blogging. What are some best practices and how you can get into content creation if it's something that you've been thinking about doing and you might be interested in. Don't sleep, your girl can help you out with that. I am a social media consultant. You can check the description, the link in the description, and if you would like to, you can also schedule a consultation with me, and I will not only tell you everything I know about content creation, but I will also give you the tea on how you can get paid from being a content creator. I'm talking, you don't have to be monetized. You don't have to be in partnership. You can just be an affiliate marketer and a few other things. I'll tell you all about that. But first thing you got to do is you have to schedule a consultation with me so I can break everything down for you. Now, before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Okay, go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. And if you're feeling your girl, give me a few hearts in the chat. Show your girl some love. You can do that throughout the live as well. Anytime you feel like, you want to just add some laughter, add some little spice to the conversation, go ahead and hit those hearts or that smiley face for me and show me some love. Okay? Also, drop your thoughts in the comments. That's what keeps the conversation going. I'm just going to be real with you. The more you stay engaged, hey, what's up, Ribbit? The more you stay engaged, the more I keep talking. And I can talk. I can talk a lot. I see 8 people in my chat. I don't see anybody giving me a thumbs up. What's up, everybody? Give me a thumbs up. I'm sure you saw the thumbnail, so you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the mommy sector. And last but not least, everything that we're going to be talking about is fair use and it's public information. We are not infringing on anyone's rights, bullying, or anything like that. We're just going to have a fun conversation and, just, chill and hang out for a little bit. If you're at work, don't work too hard. I hope you got me in your headphones and I can entertain you and help pass that time. Bye. Okay? So let me start off by defining what a mommy blogger is. Because a mommy blogger, there's all types of different vloggers or bloggers or content creators. And we all know that we have entrepreneurs, we have content creators who share how to uh, make a share content about how to become a content creator or how to make money off content creation. You have content creators who like to organize. You have content creators who are beauty influencers. It runs the gamut. Okay. But for a mommy blogger is someone who has content that's related to motherhood or parenting and their children and their family life and their struggles and triumphs as a mom or a wife or what have you. And it's not just like that. It's their content is mostly, for me, what I consider to be a mommy blogger is someone whose content is framed around their lives as a mother. So, although you are a mom, if you don't include your family in your content, I really don't consider you to be a mommy blogger or a part of the mommy sector, because not all moms include their families. Some moms have children and you never see them, you never see their husband. And some moms, they're going to include their families in every bit of their content, or 90% of their content, you're going to see their family. Now, as for me, I'm a mommy blogger, and I share my lifestyle, and I include my family in my content, but not all the time. Um, if you're a mom and you vlog, but you don't include your children or in your content, then you're not a mom blogger. So, with that being said, let's get to it. Um, on the thumbnail, I showed Peach McIntyre, Queen of Kings, uh, Cooking with Jess. I also showed, hi, what's up, Miss J? Thanks for joining my live. I also showed, because E came, and I also showed Brianna, Miss Brianna. She used to be Miss LaTruth. I also showed, who else? Uh, Melanie Renee. She's, has Raising Cane, Kate's, and then Tiana Bathurst. These are the specific mommy bloggers that I either watch or hear other people talking about a lot. I know who Brianna is. I think when her and LaTruth was first broken up, I was following LaTruth. I don't think I was actually following Brianna. I don't know, but somehow she got in my algorithm, and I just saw a video that she posted talking about why hey, K Money, what's good? Uh, and I was talking about how she was talking about being abused. I don't want to get it wrong, because, like I said, I don't follow everybody on the thumbnail, but these are the mommies that are constantly coming across my feed, even though I don't follow them, and I never click on some of their content. I see that other people that I follow, other reactors, I hear them talking about them. So I thought it would be a great idea to include them in the thumbnail, and so that I can give a good uh, just a good semblance of what I'm going to be talking about today, for lack of a better words. Okay, so why did I want to discuss this? Because they're all pretty much popular or infamous. When it comes to Peach McIntyre, she is all over the internet. She's all over YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. She has a lot of followers, okay? And she keeps people entertained. And she keeps people, what is the word I want to say, tuned in as to what her next shenanigans will be. What is Peach going to do next? Because one thing Peach is good for, and a lot of people will say, well, she's really a smart blogger. She knows how to make that money, and she knows how to keep people talking about her. And I'll give her that. Although I feel like she does leave a lot to be desired as a content creator. From me looking at her as a content creator, um, and as a mother, I think that she leaves much to be desired. And I'm not going to come down hard on her like that, but she's one of the ones that I watch, and I'm like, girl, I understand that everybody is different. Everybody has their own way of running their uh, of posting their content, and different strokes for different folks. I get that. I'm not gonna say, okay, everything that she does is wrong, because she has done some good, especially in the beginning. It seemed like she was gonna be somebody that you could gravitate towards, that you could identify with, especially if you were a single mom, or, an African American mom, and you came up, with the struggle. A lot of women who look like her and who had the same background with her could relate. And she seemed very humble. I watched a lot of Peach's first videos, and she would be shopping at Costco. She would be filling up her pantry. she would be with her children and her husband a lot and her mom. And then I guess, I didn't catch her at the beginnings. Other people that I know said, do you know who Peach McIntyre is? And I didn't know who she was. And as I became a content creator, I saw some groups, some people on Facebook mentioning her name and saying that she would be a good person to link up with because she was helping people get monetized and helping people make money on Facebook. But I didn't have any interest in that because for me, I know that the game is to be sold, not to be told. Okay, and from if somebody is selling you something for 1995 and they made millions of dollars, or if this is what I feel like, if someone is making that kind of money, they don't really have time to share that with you. And if you think about that, most of the mommy bloggers that have a lot of followers and that you see on social media every day, they're not trying to sell courses. They don't have time for that. They have brand deals, or they do some affiliate marketing. E. Kane, I see that she sells a lot of wigs. And I think she does really great with that because if not, she wouldn't continue to do it. But Peach has it to where she doesn't want to uh, be an affiliate marketer, and she doesn't want to partner with other brands. And she could do that. And that's her choice. That's her choice to say, I don't want to partner with these other brands. I just want to do me, and I'll sell my classes or whatever. But it seems like she's, you know, you know, uh, battling uphill. You know, she's running uphill trying to sell those courses on live constantly having to put out more and more content that, quite frankly, shows her and her family in a negative light. It's like rinse, wash, repeat with Peach. One day she'll be uh, having like content that's cool, funny, and informative or inspirational, and then the next thing you know, her husband is cheating again, or her mama did something to her as a child, or she's into it with another content creator. It's always something negative that's going on that drives people to her page. It's as though Peach says she believes in herself and she is not embarrassed about her life, and she's just showing her life and just keeping it real. And we all experience ups and downs in life. Everybody does. Everybody does. But if you were to look at Peach's page, it would make most believe that that's all she experiences is one batch, what she calls adversity. It seems like that's all she's going through. And she shouldn't be, because she doesn't really come in contact with anybody but her children and her husband. So how are you going through so much? And then what you're selling to your supporters is that you're making a lot of money. You could teach them how to make a lot of money. So you should be financially okay. Uh, your husband, you make a big deal out of how he doesn't help you. Then you show him cleaning carpets, washing walls, and with babies in his arms. Then you'll say, well, he gets a free day off. Then you'll say, well, he's cheating. But then you'll see him right along with you, pushing strollers and at Disneyland or wherever else you decide to go. It really seems like Peach McIntyre's family revolves around her. And she said that she comes first. She said she comes first and then her husband and her kids. However, it only seems like Peach is the only one that matters, because I can't imagine that, just as a mom myself, and I'm a mother of five, so, and it's been times me and my husband wanted to take our kids to Disneyland, to the zoo, or whatever, and we were just like, oh my gosh, like this is a lot. And that was just one day. And that was back when my kids were younger. So I just feel like, Peach has decided that she wants to be a content creator. She has decided the type of content that she wanted to produce and show to people. And that's basically how her family is going to live their lives. Now, I don't knock it 100%, because if that's what's working and that's what's helping to feed Peach and her 9 children, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. But at the same time, you know, If you included your children in that decision making, if you included your husband in that decision making, instead of it just being all or nothing with you, I'm sure that they would say, hey, mom, can we go here this weekend? Can we stay home and maybe do a barbecue this weekend? And you can still get your content. Not only that, if you're somewhere, you should, and you're going out and venturing out somewhere, you should be able to get enough content in one day for the whole week. And then any other content that you did, it should be built around you. I don't see why your husband should have the need to be at home for hours and hours with the kid. But Peach also did admit that she doesn't really want to be around her family like that. She said she would rather be alone for 80% of the time and then maybe 20% of the time with her family. So that came out of her own mouth. So maybe making content every day and leaving the husband home with the kids is her way of having that alone time. And I get that too. I mean, as a mom, sometimes I just want to be left alone. I am not going to hold you, okay? I'm not going to hold you. I know what it's like. And my kids are teenagers, they're doing their own thing. But sometimes I can be overwhelmed, I can be bogged down because I have a lot going on and they just want to talk and chit chat. Mama, can you take me to here? Mama, I need to go by the mall. It gets to be a lot. So I can see why Peach having those 9 children, why she probably constantly wants to escape. Which brings me to another thing that I'm seeing a lot. I'm noticing that there are a lot of families that are choosing to have a lot of children. Raising K's is one of them. Melanie Renee. And what I see from her, I like. I don't know. See, that's where we have a bit of a dichotomy because Melanie Kate only shows her family in a positive light. So you only know what she shows you. Peach shows everything, the good and the bad. But I feel like it should kind of go a little bit both ways. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's working for Melanie Renee. Her family is constantly on vacation. They're constantly going on trips. Um, and I just love her content. I think she's so wholesome. And it seems like Peach could learn a lot from a Melanie Renee. Melanie seems to have her family running like running like a well-oiled machine. When she gets out there and cooks that dinner, then her family comes in and the sons come and try a little bit of what mom is cooking, and her husband gives her a kiss or he gives her a glass of wine. It's the cutest thing ever. And their family seems like they are not into a lot of drama. You have the husband, he works. You have the wife who's at home running the family, and she has all of her family working together. Everything is not on her, so I could see why she would feel like, okay, I could have as many children as I want. I have a supportive family. I have my house organized. Um, some of her kids are off to college already, but that's a lot still to me as a mom. I don't know, but I'm gonna say this: if you're going to have several children, 9, 10 kids, then I think that you should, by all means, have everything organized. You should be married, and you and your husband should be on solid ground because it just looks bad if you're walking around with your ninth pregnancy talking about your husband is cheating, saying you're getting evicted, and your husband is doing nothing to help you. That just looks bad. I mean, even if you have one kid, but someone can understand, okay, you have one kid, you're falling on hard times, but by your ninth child, you guys should have it together by then. You're old enough, you're in your late 30s, so I don't know what to say about that. And then you have E. Kane, who is younger, who has 2 children. And I think E. Kane and Peach are about 10 years apart. I could be wrong. If you know, drop down in the chat or comment below and let me know if I'm misspeaking, but I believe Peach and E. Kane are about 10 years apart. E. Kane should be, not should be, but I could understand E. Kane being just a little bit more um, easygoing and a little bit. Who I can understand where EK is coming from a little bit more, but hold on, guys. I also don't understand how Peach seems to be experiencing arrested development a little bit. You know what I mean? And she's spoken a lot about going through trauma as a child, and the way she constantly this year she hasn't done it really this year. I don't think she's really talked about what she's been through as a child, and I love that. I love that for Peach. I love that she's has finally stopped talking about her mother. And I think the reason why Peach was doing it, and Peach probably don't even understand that this is why she was doing it. She said she was in the throes of gambling, and her finances were all over the place. I feel like that Peach was experiencing depression because Peach and her mom seemed to be getting along, but every time things weren't going right between Peach and Wood, or every time Peach wasn't making the money she wanted to make. Now, she says she has a gambling problem. I don't know how true that is. Whatever she was doing or whatever was going on, she was, one second, guys. Okay, what happened now? Okay, I need to stop playing. But anyway, what I was saying is Peach seems to be getting over that. She's saying that she's going back to being feminine like she did when she was younger. Again, I love that for her. I love that she's starting to take care of herself, and she's starting to uh, get into loving herself more. And she says she like to bathe now. She's been going to Bath and Body Works. She started wearing the Donna Karen uh, deodorant that everybody's been talking about. And if you've been thinking about that Donna Karen cologne, let me do a little shameless pitch real quick. Go to one of my shorts or one of my videos that I did a review of the Donna Karen cologne deodorant on. It's really good. Don't sleep. It's well worth the every penny that it costs. Okay, but I have a link for the Donna Karen deodorant and the perfume, so you can get the combination together for one price. For the same price you would pay for the deodorant, you get the perfume with it, and it's perfume. It's not the toilet water. It's perfume, and they both smell really really yummy. So if you've been thinking about getting those, check for that in my shorts or one of my videos. I have the link there also. But let me get back to what I was saying, which was Peach saying that she's becoming more feminine and she's loving the space she's in right now. She's taking time off for her. And I think the reason why she is able to do that is because she has finally stopped going to that casino. And she has finally stopped blaming her mom for everything that's going wrong in her life. And she has finally come to accept that it is what it is with Wood, and that if Wood is not there helping her, she's going to have a hard time. Because just think about it, with all those little kids, and she has brand new babies. If she has to put all of those little babies in daycare, that's going to cost her a pretty penny. And not only that, getting all those kids ready to go to daycare. And then what about the hours when they're home, having to make dinner for all of those kids and having to wash clothes for all those kids? Wood is a big help. A lot of people say, oh, Wood, he should be out there hustling too. But why would he have to hustle if his wife can bring him 5 figures a month and then they have 9 children? Who's going to be home with the children? Somebody got to be home with the kids. I'm a firm believer in, if you have kids, one parent needs to stay home, especially if they're young and you have toddlers. So Most of the mommies are stay at home moms and they do their content and their husbands do work. But that's probably because their husbands can keep uh, a stable income, or maybe their husband make good money, or perhaps that's where they get their health insurance from. Because I don't believe Peach has health insurance. Well, she said she didn't, so I don't know if she got it now, but she said she didn't. So Wood might want to go pick up a part time or some type of gig to help with health insurance because that's very important. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's a lot. It's really a lot, and I just don't get it, But you know, I know that she says that she's doing her, and she doesn't want to be like a Melanie Renee, But she really needs to start making it make sense. So, but one step at a time, we're gonna keep Peach in our prayers, and hopefully, she will start to get that. You know, she has to she may want to get some therapy, which I don't really like therapy, but or talk to somebody or just come turn to God because she plays with God a lot. But if she turns to God and starts praying, he'll start revealing the things to her that needs to change, and he will start healing her of that trauma that she says she has from childhood, and he will give her the ability to move on without it impacting who she is today. Because I think that she has a lot she's dealing with. But yeah, so let's move on to E. Kane, who is a hot mess times 10. But I like E. Kane. And why do I like E. Kane? Because I like her because she is herself. She is funny. She is cute. And E. Kane knows. E. Kane knows that she needs to get her together. She's gone back to school. Hey, what's up, Kendall? Thank you for joining the chat. Um, I'm talking about the mommy sector, and we're going to get into some things about all of the mommies. So, if you have a mommy you want to talk about, drop them in the chat. There's nobody who's off limits. We're not going to talk about them too bad, though. We're not going to do them too bad because I consider myself a mommy blogger. And yeah, so I want to be a little nice, but I'm going to call them to the table. I'm going to call them to the table. All right. So yes, E Kane. Like I was saying, I like that she knows that her life is a hot mess and she is trying to get it together. Today I saw her out on the field with her son. She got him in football. Um, she's also in school because her education is really important to her. She keeps letting that hot mess of a baby daddy Chris come back. And I just be wondering why and how. Like, if I'm walking down the street, I'm running from Chris. Kane is a beautiful girl. I don't understand what the attraction is at all, number one. And then just his personality, all of it is a turn off. But they both, water seeks its own level. Water seeks its own level. So that may be why they can, get with each other. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because he's there. Because if you have to deal with an E. Kane or you have to deal with a Chris, that's a lot for anybody to deal with. And I don't know how many men will be dealing with E. Kane's multiple personalities. She also just said that she was diagnosed as bipolar. So maybe that's how she can relate to him. They both understand each other's crazy, but she's young. And I think if she gets the right type of programming going and gets the right type of meds going, because bipolar disorder, unlike anxiety, I don't like medication for anxiety, but I do feel like with bipolar disorder, it will help curb the mania and it will help somebody stay more stable. So I do love that for her, that she's going to therapy, that she's back in school, that she's putting her children in extracurricular activities. Kudos to her. Kudos to her. She is doing that wig influencing and She seems to be about her business. She has several channels on TikTok, and I see that she has her channel on YouTube. So she's making her point. She does, and she said that she stopped drinking. She realized that her drinking was a problem, and she said she's 4 weeks sober. So I'm genuinely praying for her that she continues to stay sober, and I'm hoping that she stays on the right track because her kids need her. And I don't want to turn on YouTube or TikTok one day and see that something bad has happened to E. Kane. So I hope she stays off the liquor, and I hope that she continues to progress in life. So yeah, and Rose. I watch Rose sometimes, but Rose, I'm not gonna lie. I cannot lie. Rose is she is ooh child, honey. Rose, yes, Kendall. I feel like E. Kane is trying. I feel like she has a lot of room for growth. But I like what I like about a person is if they know they need to change, and we all have work to do. I don't care where we are in life. Money is not the barometer for success to me. How you treat people, how you see yourself, how you take care of yourself. Like for myself, for instance, I need to lose weight. And there's a lot of other things that I need to do for myself so that I could be the happy and whole individual that I want to be. It doesn't matter how much money I make because I've been making a lot of money this year. It doesn't matter though because I need to be physically whole. Yes, it does make your head hurt, Kendall. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about all the mommy people or some one in particular? Because um, I will say when I went to Rose's page, it was like 1 minute she wanted to stay in Arizona and be an Airbnb landlord. Then next thing I know, she went to Hawaii and moved the family to Hawaii. And then they stayed out there for a minute. Then next thing you know, they're moving back to the mainland. And I'm like, girl, you have children. And her husband, he's so in love with her, he's just following right along with whatever Rose wants to do. And they get pretty raunchy. I think that's how I first saw her. She had a video that was going viral, and it was very risque, that video that she was doing. But I thought, okay, it's cute, whatever. But I just thought, ugh. And I guess because of her background, she said she was a dancer, quote unquote. So maybe that's why she's so into doing things like that and showing off with her husband in that manner and being really, I feel like, showing off intimate parts of their relationship. Yes, she does give unstable vibes. I think Rose is somewhat bipolar. I don't want to diagnose anybody or just put a jacket on anybody, but it does give that. I've watched a couple of her videos. None this year, because I can't. The way my mental health is set up, uh, I cannot indulge somebody else's uh, delusions of grandeur. I cannot sit there and watch somebody else just really falling apart like that, and especially with kids involved. And that's why I just want to know, when does it become to be too much? Because we know that everybody has things that go on behind closed doors, and I feel like if as a human being, I feel like if I can share something to help another human being, I'm going to do that. But I'm not going to make it salacious, and I'm going to do my best to give it to them in an honest way to where it can help them. Once you put something out, you can't control how others will take it because people are going to see you the way they want to see you. But I feel like the Peach McIntyres and the Roses, I feel like that they are intentionally putting out content that will get people to talking. I just want to know, is this them or is it the money? I think it's a little both because, be for real, if that's not you, if that's not who you are, it doesn't matter how much money you can get. You're not going to do it unless you're desperate. But I will say this, for certain people, if you don't have God in your life, and I'm a person who is a firm believer in God, and I'm a firm believer in, if you don't have, everybody needs something to believe in, even if you're not a Christian. I wish everybody was Christians. I know everybody is not. Some people believe in something different. But if you don't have morals and values, then you'll fall for anything, and you'll be subjective to do anything. Because why would you think it's okay to, show everybody your personal, uh, your body and just yourself in those type of positions where your children could see them if they turned on YouTube, or where where your children's classmates could see it? It's one thing if you don't have children and you're out there doing something. It's one thing for you to be ridiculed for your actions, but what about your children? And what about how it makes them feel? Right. I wish that everyone was too, but that's wishful. I know I am, though. Right. Right. Everybody's not going to think the same way. But I'm going to be honest here. Even some people who are not Christians or who are not religious, they're not going to be easily persuaded to just go out here and do anything. I met people who said they don't even believe in God. And they still have morals and values. If that's a thing, there's still things that they wouldn't do. You know, I want the money too. I want to make that bag too. And when I made my 5 figures a month, when I'm making money, I don't have to do anything. I can just be myself. It seems easier to do it that way. And I'm just wondering, if they toned it down a little bit, could they actually make more money? Or they actually prevented themselves from making money? It's like, here you are posting salacious content, rage baiting content. I think it's more than just the money. It's not about the money, because if it was about the money, they have the numbers as far as subscriber counts and follower counts are concerned. They're getting the views. They're getting enough views across the board where they should be pulling in at least 5 figures a month. If not from one platform, from all combined, they should be making a good $20,000, $30,000 a month. That's nothing to sneeze at. Maybe they're not making that. Maybe I'm, thinking a little too much of them. But I think that's where I see their bottom line should be, around there. And if they're not, then they need to get out of here. They shouldn't be on here trying to just, what's the word I want to use? Exploit themselves for 5 figures a month, for a couple of dollars a month. They shouldn't be doing that. Because I know that for TikTok, you have to make you have to have a lot of views before you make anything. He said he posted a video that had 1.7 million views, and he only got like $300 or $400 for it. So, and somebody else said that too on TikTok. They got very little money, and I see Peaches posting constantly. She's posting a lot of videos. So if she's posting 3 or 4 videos a month, I mean a day, and she posts 120 uh 120 videos a month, then she might just be at a few $1,000s a month. So maybe that's why she's really trying so hard to do it. But I was saying this somewhere else, that if she had posted, like I'm pushing the Donna Karen deodorant too, not only because it's viral, but because I really love it. She posted several videos about it. Several. Maybe she has a partnership behind the scene. I hope she does. Because she's posted over 3 days about it. And I've seen at least 6 or 7 videos about that deodorant. And she said, I don't have a link or anything. So that lets me know it's not about the money with you. Because you're on TikTok, you could even direct people to TikTok shop. You could post a TikTok shop and get money from that. And it's like if you sell for every deodorant you sell, I think you get like $3.50. So imagine if 100 people bought the deodorant based on Peach's link, that's 3,500. If she got 1,000 girls to go buy it, that's $35,000. So I feel like Rose and I feel like Peach, I feel like they're doing it because it's feeding something internal within them. They like the negative, even though it's negative comments. Have you ever met a child? It's like, dang, like, why do you keep doing stuff? And it's like the more you try to correct their behavior, it's the more outrageous they get. They're acting up at school, they're acting up at home. It's like they love the negative attention that they get. They feel like they're getting more attention from people when they're being negative, which is crazy. But that is just like the peeping Tom syndrome. Even though uh, they know they're going to grow somebody out, they flash people because it turns them up when they hear somebody go, ah, get away from me, you creep. They love that. So I feel like when Peach is grossing out her audience, showing them her pad with secretions on it and showing them her stomach hanging down to her legs, the more people are like, ew, gross, why are you doing that? The better it makes her feel. Like she could have showed her cutie patootie twins just laying there being cute and just cooing. And she could have probably got the same amount of attention that she got when she posted that baby with his face all screwed up. And she knows she was wrong for that. But she posted that because she wanted not just the engagement, she wanted the response. Hey, Jazzy J, thank you for joining. I hope you all are having a good day. Yes, she likes the money for sure. She definitely organized her content correctly, even though she has a lot of outrageous content creators who post the most outrageous stuff and they still get brand deals. So it's not just about a brand deal with Peach. It's not just about, I need the engagement, I need to make some money. It's not about that with her. Because look at how she cusses out her supporters. Look at the way she cusses them out. If she was really trying, it's like you don't want to make money. You don't want to sell these little 10-cent classes you're trying to sell. You're doing like you're intentionally uh, making people mad. It's like, why did you go on live to sell the courses? If the intent was to sell the courses, why are you on live cursing people out? Like you're a veteran at this. You're 5 years in. You know you're gonna have people troll you. You know you're gonna have people in the comments intentionally trying to say stuff to you. Why even pay attention to that? You should have your filters on and all of that. Yeah, it does keep her in the algorithm, but being in the algorithm, what does that do for your bottom line? You're in the algorithm and people are talking about you, but you're not making the amount of money that you could make. That's my whole thing. You're not making the amount of money that you can make, and then you and your family live at Disneyland. Do you know how many families are going to Disneyland and getting free passes? By her living in Orlando, by her going to Disneyland as much as she does and going to the amusement parks there as much as she does, she would be a great influencer for Disneyland. I see lots of mommy creators who are going to Disneyland. A lot of times you see these people going on vacations, you see them staying at different hotels. They got paid to do that. They didn't just go to a hotel because they just want to go there. And they didn't just pick. They're going to they're going to some random city somewhere Tiana Bathurst. I see her and she I don't know if it's her boyfriend or her husband, Tiana and Keen. They have a YouTube channel, but I mostly see them on Facebook, and I think she's getting it right as a content creator. She she's a mommy influence. She's really doing a good job of how she shows her family. She does talk a little bit about how she grew up, but she doesn't seem to be stuck in that. She just talks about it only as it relates to how and why she does what she does as a mom. For a time I seen her, it was just her and her friends, and it seemed like she's, going out of the house more on her own. I kind of was concerned about that because it seemed like all she did was stay at home with the little girl, and the only thing she had going was her, I'm talking about Tiana Bathurst. um, Her page is That Family or Tiana Bathurst on Facebook. I have her on the pitch on the thumbnail too, and she's a young girl. I think she's under 30, and now she has two children. Her husband, uh, he's not Haitian. I don't know if he's from the Bahamas. He's from one of those islands. He's not West Indian, I don't think. I'm not sure, but he's not from the U.S. But it's like they have a good thing going. They support one another. Yeah, Tiana Bathurst, I think she might be on. She does have a YouTube page as well. Uh huh. But she posts a lot of content. All of her content is around her and her children. She cooks. She plays with her children. She's a breastfeeding mom. She also does. She does consulting, social media consultant, and she teaches other people how to make money as a social media influencer. And she also does a lot of brand deals, and $3,000 car. So, you know, yeah. I think Tiana, she's on the far right of the thumbnail at the bottom, and right underneath Melanie Renee. I can't see. Oh, let me turn on my doggone laptop so I can see what I'm doing here. But yeah, she's got it going on. If I was gonna model myself after anybody as a mommy blogger, if I was gonna follow what someone was doing, it would be like a Tiana or a Melanie Renee, just because I like that they're not. I like that they seem to be making money and they seem to have a lot of followers. That's one thing you want to look at. What kind of engagement does or have? And I feel like they have people who support them, supporters. But I don't want, or like, you probably don't know who Tiana is, and you probably, unless now that I'm talking about Melanie Renee and Raising Kate's, which is her YouTube channel, you might have her come across your algorithm. It's because you're a part of this live, and then you'd be like, okay, that's what she's talking about. Um, she they just do a really good job of making the money and posting their content, and really just I think they show black people and black women and black families. They put them in a positive light, because that's what matters to me too. Like, how are you representing black women as a whole? You know what I mean? Like, doesn't that matter to you as well? I know you want to keep it real, and I know you want to make your money, but do you even care about how you are making black people look? I mean, come on now. We have enough going against us. We don't need anybody else uh, bringing us down, because if somebody see a Peach McIntyre, they're going to say that's how all black women act. They're not going to look at the Tiana Bathurst or the Melanie Renee's. No, they don't think about things like that, Jazzy J. All they think about is themselves. And I'm gonna just say like this: if you look at the Latino community, if one of theirs did something like that, they're gonna be all over them. They're gonna say, "You're making us look bad." I've heard them say that, like, "You're making us look bad," you know, and they will have a problem with that. Like, maybe I just haven't come across it, but I don't see anybody else outside of our community putting up BS like that on YouTube. And if I'm incorrect, and if you feel like, oh, no, you need to go see this page, I don't see anybody else putting themselves online and showing themselves acting up like Grip Gang. What's her name? Grip or whatever she is on TikTok. I don't see anybody else doing that. And that's why I want to talk about it. I want to talk about what's too much. What is too much for the internet? You know, I don't believe in, okay, keep everything in the dark and, uh, hold on, you guys. Give me 1 second. I got a child that's bugging me. You see her in the chat. Okay. Let me see. Let me get this to her. Give me 1 second, guys. You guys talk amongst yourself in the chat. You guys just hold on for 1 second. I'll be right back. I got 6 people in the chat. I need all 6 of y'all to give my live a thumbs up because we're going to get into some things in just a few minutes. Okay. All right, y'all, I'm back. And I see 5 of you have still stayed in here. And I do not see that 5 of you have liked this live. So go ahead and do that. And let your girl know you feeling her by dropping some money bags in the chat. For real. Okay, you going live today at 6:30? I don't know if I'm following everybody, but I've been looking out for you girls to see who's on live so I could your live. One thing I want to do is support everybody, especially those girls who are supporting me. Okay, I'm gonna be on your page too at 6:30. That's why I did my live early because you know it gets hectic. It gets real in the field around 6:30, 7:38. I'll be ready to unwind, and I don't shoot. I've been trying to keep my hours up, but it gets a little bit iffy. Thanks for the money bag. So back to the chat. Um, so yeah, who else we want to talk about? We've been talking about Peach a lot, and we talked about Tiana a little bit. I've been seeing the blonde hair. You know, she has a short buzz cut in the middle. Um, Just be cooking. I see a lot of her videos on TikTok. She usually cooks and the plays a little R&B while cooking, and you'll see her cook. And it seems like she's got that down pat, and I love that for her. Um, I'm just talking about different mommies because I want people to understand that whoever's watching this, or if you have designs on becoming a mommy blogger, that you don't have to be like a Peach or you don't have to be like a Melanie Renee. You never have to talk. You really don't have to show your face. But if you want to cook or whatever you want to do and you want to include your family in your videos, you can do that. And you don't have to be fake. You don't have to be fake because people will see that too. But I know people have different reasons being online. I know that people have different aspirations, different goals. You know what I mean? Some people just like having, and I heard E. Kane, I watched a video of hers, and she said, I just wanted somebody to talk to. And it helped me to be able to talk on TikTok, to be able to talk to people and have people listen to me because I never had any. E. Kane said, I never tried to be a influencer. I didn't have my heart set on being an influencer. I was just coming on here just to have somebody to talk to, and people just related to me. She was going probably with her baby daddy and going through a lot as a woman, and she just said, you know what, I'm gonna get on TikTok. And that's what she did. She got on TikTok, and next thing you know, people related to her, and people like her. She talk mess a lot, and I like it. I always watch her videos. And I don't. She doesn't have the cringe factor like your Peach McIntyre or your Rose. And Brianna, you know, I just feel like Brianna lacks a lot of maturity. You know, she doesn't have any maturity at all. She reminds me of like a Cardi B. You know, everything is about a man. How I move, how I react, it's gonna be based on my man. And my man is Cheat. I'm going online to tell everybody about it. If something's going on in my home life, I'm gonna get on the internet and talk about it and try to get people to agree with me, feel sorry for me, or just be my sounding board because I lack the emotional intelligence to deal with my problems. And it may be just because they're young, or all right, Kendall, be safe, drive safe, walking up your baby. Uh, it may just be because they're young, or because they see that others being successful by telling their business, or it may be because they see that other people. Because one thing I know for sure, a lot of people have gotten very used to using the internet as a form of therapy. I'm not going to hold you guys. I have family members that will come on Facebook and tell everything that's going on in the family, or talk about anything that comes to mind. They don't hold, like, people see you, right? And the cool part about them is they're not getting paid. Like, you're on Facebook carrying on, arguing with your baby daddy, arguing with his side chick, telling what, going off on people, that talking about what happened at work, and going off on your boss. It's like, we see you, right? We see you. And you just going on and on typing. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Put a one if you have ever been on Facebook and you saw some drama going down and you went from page to page. I've been up all night going from page to page. I don't went to from that person's page I saw to the mama's page, to the baby daddy page, to the baby daddy cousin page, just following the story. I've done that a number of times. It is highly entertaining. I've done it a number of times. And then I love when they go live and start talking about it. And then you kind of know who and who they're talking to. Even if you don't just public, you can go to that other page and see them going back and forth. It's better than an episode of Love and Hip Hop. I've done it plenty of times. Yep, I will stalk somebody's page and be having secondhand embarrassment, and at the same time, it's like a watching a train wreck. I will watch them in a heartbeat. I've done it a lot, so I can see why somebody young like an E. Kane or a Brianna would do it. Peach, you've been on social media a lot. You've been on Facebook a lot, but it seems like you have also been selling your business online a lot, and you just now started getting paid for it, because she said she had everybody in her town knew about the whole fiasco between Choice and him having to get swabbed, as her brother Ed said, because she didn't know who Choice daddy was. Remember he said that? And she went on Facebook and told everybody that whole story about what happened with that years and years ago when Choice was a baby. So she's been telling her business. And so she's been seeing that, wait a minute, when I talk about my business, I can get paid. But what won't you say? What won't you say? And I think that the things that Peach won't say is the things that Or, and I don't mean like, we know she'll do all the theatrics. We know she'll put her whole personhood. Like, she didn't want nobody to know. She wanted everybody to think that her relationship was one way, and she didn't want nobody to know that he had actually hit her mom upside the head with that vacuum cleaner. She's so mad about that. She don't ever want to talk to her mama again. And she starts airing out the whole family because her mom told everybody what Wood did to her. She didn't want nobody to know that that man, whose dirty draws she loves, had been doing all that stuff to her. Now that her mom outed her, and now that her brother said he had her walking down the street, standing at the bus stop while he was driving down the street in the car she was driving, now that her brother uh, said that, now she would go on and say different things. Right, Daily Sits with Jazzy J. What are the boundaries? What are the boundaries? When are we going to say, you know what? We're going to stop and say, hey, you know what? This is too much. This is too much. I got to protect my family. Not even just me. Not even just that I don't want people to see me a certain way, but I got to protect my children. I have children, and let me know, moms. Let me know if your children have done this. I like to dance. I like to dance and I like to have a good time. But if we're somewhere out in public and I get to dancing or acting like I want to dance in public, my kids will be like, mom. They don't want me dancing. They don't want me being myself. They want me to sit back and chill and be a mom. Because everything you do as a mom embarrasses your kid. Could you imagine how McKay feels? And Peach says, oh, he likes being up under his family. What 17, 18-year-old boy likes being up under his mama like that? He go out in the real world, he's probably afraid of what somebody might say. Or what somebody, might do. And Peach has probably filled his head up with a bunch of menagerie about you can't trust people. So he probably doesn't trust people. Or he's just as immature as she is because they seem like they're besties, Peach and her son. So yeah, I don't know about that one. You know, all I just know is I'm not going to embarrass my children. You know, they'll be like, Mom, don't post that online. Like, they'll be like, don't post this of me online. My kids are old enough to say when they want to be online. Sometimes they know I want to create content, so they say, "Oh, Mom, let's go here and we can post it online. We can do a food review. Mama, I want Chipotle today. Let's go get Chipotle." Before that was before I had actually tasted Chipotle. Yeah, we can eat it on we can eat it on and do a review. They'll do something like that when they want to when they want to get something out of me sometimes. But if it's their birthday, I don't want it on film or something like that. I'll ask and they'll let me know if they're okay with being online. But a lot of times my kids might say, I don't want to be online today. Right, Jazzy. They sure will. They be like, it's let's do this dance, but don't post it. Right, right. And they deserve to have that autonomy. You need to ask your kids. You don't just go online and just start posting them without their permission. I don't care if they're 5. Now, if they're babies are cute and babies should be shared with everyone. Babies make people happy. Babies and puppies make people happy. But I used to post my grandbaby Dream all the time, but she started getting older and carrying on. And then it's like when you put a video, put her on video, it seemed like she started running amok. And I'm like, okay, girl. I'm like, she started wilding out. It's like she don't want you taking a picture of her or really be in her face. She just, ugh, she's so unsurly. Sometimes I might post a picture of her or whatever. But yeah, give your children that. Give them, ask their permission. Ask her if they're cute and cuddly. I think that was wrong for Peach to post her baby looking like that because she was exploiting him. She was trying to get a reaction out of her followers. She was trying to get that negative attention, and she used her child to do that. I feel like that was wrong. The cute little picture she showed of them, okay, cool. Even if I think it's the whole point of Peaches always doing something like that. If she had just showed him like that one time, like, look at how he act. This baby always acting up. He's so cute, but every time he get mad at me, he make this ugly face, y'all. It's all about context and how you represent a thing. I mean, like, don't just put your baby up there with his face all screwed up nonchalantly, like you don't expect people to say anything. Because I just look like, ooh, Lord. But I actually think the twins are cute. I think the twins are cute. I've always thought the twins are cute. I think Peach has cute kids. I think that choice is so cute and adorable. That phenomena, what's his name? Phoenix. So I don't know why people were saying that they were thumbnail be funny or she's trying to be cute. Daily Sits with Jazzy J. Yeah, she posts outrageous things for reaction. Like she said, one-on-one classes with her are $10,000. She know ain't nobody paying that. She knows they're not. And I think for her, like if she does one-on-ones and gives them the same thing, she feels like, okay, I got to charge way more because it's going to take more of my time to do one-on-ones. And I think a couple of years ago she was doing one-on-ones. She was doing one-on-ones all day. $159 for each one-on-one. But I think she feels like if I charge $21 and I could hold up to 1,000 people in one Zoom class, I can make 21,000. Or if I charge $40, I can get everybody at one time. I can charge them $40, give them a 2-hour class, pay $40,000 for one class in one day. It makes sense. Why would I do a one-on-one if I can get enough people to come to my class? But what she doesn't realize is the vanity has worn off. Like people got it now. They get that your classes are not really much and you probably have a lot of competition. Why would you tell them the sauce? You're not going to tell them what they should be doing or what they really need to do to make the kind of money you're making. I remember one time she did that. What's her name? Or Millionaire Mommy just took what she saw Peach doing and she started breastfeeding in public. She Millionaire Mommy had this whole thing going where her husband was cheating and he had a baby coming and I mean I really felt like she was just doing it for attention or doing it for I didn't feel like nothing that Millionaire Mommy was talking about was true. I felt like it was all an act. And for me, because I felt like it was an act and I felt like she was just doing it for money, I stopped watching her. Just like, girl, come on, come with something better. But she took Peach's whole whole get down and she started doing it. She was breastfeeding in public. Millionaire Mommy would come outside with her stomach out. She'll come out with, hey, Kendall, we still in here, like swimwear. Millionaire Mommy had that stomach hanging down to her knees. She have on a tube top. I mean, she was have on those house shoes. Talking about she just called her husband's baby mama told her that she gonna be helping with that baby too. I think one time she was out shopping, talking about she's shopping for her husband's new baby by his bitch. Just a hot mess. But even though people were saying, girl, you just playing, or girl, this gotta be fake, it was still getting engagement. Some people were falling for it, but a lot of people was like, girl, you just playing, you just lying. But the engagement was still coming. Now I haven't seen her on Facebook. I think I might have blocked her because she just got too outrageous with one of her videos. And when you get too outrageous for me, I stop wanting to see you. Is she in Mommy sector? Yes. Millionaire Mommy. I think that's her name. Let me see if I could look her up. I don't know if she's still on here because Like I said, I don't follow everybody. I just see. But when I first got on YouTube and started doing content, I first got on YouTube. I think I started YouTube. I started following. I bought one of Keith Peach's e-guides for Facebook. I actually bought it for Facebook. I didn't buy it for YouTube. And I gotta be honest, I started a YouTube because of Peach. I was never intended to get on YouTube, but like I said, I saw a lot of people talking about Peach. Peach got the sauce for Facebook to make money on Facebook, and I was making a little money on Facebook. And of course, I wanted to make more, so I bought a bundle she had. You got e-guide that taught you how to do YouTube, TikTok, well, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, I think it was. And then she also had Facebook groups that you could join if you bought that. And I think the bundle was probably like $16. It was something very cheap because I wasn't gonna spend a lot of money with it. I'm just gonna be real. And I joined the Facebook groups because I felt like I could learn from not just Peach but other Facebook members, and they were very novices, very much novices. They didn't know they didn't know anything, and Peach would come in the group very sporadically, and then she just stopped coming at all. So it was really no help to me. I just had to start learning everything on my own. But when I first got on YouTube as a content creator, her name is Millionaire Mommy on YouTube, and I think it's the same thing on Facebook. I'm not sure, but yeah, she has like 155K subscribers. Um, and she has one, two, three, four, five children. I don't know if her husband ever had his baby that she was talking about. She said she demonetized on her. There's a picture 2 weeks ago. She's showing her son and breastfed. And if you look at those pictures like that, or if you look at their videos, their biggest videos are always of them breastfeeding. All of them. Because you have weirdos who come on here and want to see stuff like that. You know, they want to see you putting on your deodorant. They want to see you showing off your feet. And they know this. They know it. And they don't mind giving them what they want. They would do it. Her most popular, Millionaire Mommy, her most popular short. Girl, the way, it's like 14 million people, 15 million people watching her do this. Like if you go to Millionaire Mommy's page and you go to her shorts, you'll see every last video that's popular. I'm going to get off her page because I feel like, it's just highly exploitive, just the way she has her child. She's not just a mom feeding her child in a natural state. It's the way she's doing it, and it's so gross. It really is. And you got to have more decency about yourself, and that's because see my reaction. She looks nice in two pieces. No, she don't. Are we looking at the same page, Millionaire Mommy? Like, are we watching the same thing? Let me go back to her page and see if I can. I don't know if I can show you guys. No, I guess you're trying to make a funny Kendall, but heck no. I had to hurry up and get off her page, and I hope I done went to her page. Now she's gonna be in my algorithm. No. No. But she make me so mad with her kid doing that. I'm just like, girl, you are so gross. Like, why would you do that? Like, just for money? That's when it gets to be too much. When you get a reaction out of me like that, and I try not to be judgmental because I can be a judgmental church lady sometimes when I want to be. I know that about me, and I know who I am. So, but I know y'all gonna stick beside me, money getters. But I know I can be judgmental, and I try my best not to be. But that's crazy. Like, come on now. Yeah, Kendall's starting her stuff again. Yeah. Yeah. She Millionaire Mommy is a trip. And then Peach got so mad when Millionaire Mommy got her 100K subscribers and got her plaque and did not thank Peach. Peach was mad. She was like, yeah, it's okay. And then not only that, Millionaire Mommy took her whole get down and made an e-guide and started selling the e-guides like Peach was doing. Ciao, bye. Ciao, bye. That's mommy money, and we gonna stick beside her. That's right. That's right. Thank you guys for rocking with me. We are now on hour two, 1 hour and 60 minutes in this thing, and I'm glad to have you all here with me, Kendall and Jazzy. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for all of the Streamer University gang that's in here today. Um, I didn't want to talk about the mommy sector. It's just I don't want Peach McIntyre's Peach Patch coming over here, but I just felt like, since I'm doing this 30 days straight uh going live, I felt like, this is a hot topic on online, and I would be remiss if I didn't. And I feel like since I'm a mommy blogger, I feel like I should be able to get my opinion on other mommy bloggers the ones I feel who are getting it right, and the ones who I feel are getting it wrong. You're getting it wrong. You're a bad representation of black women, of black mothers. You're exploiting your families. You're in need of therapy. You're in need of some type of self control, and you're in need of you should actually be a lot of these mommy bloggers that are doing this crap. I don't understand why YouTube keeps them on, because it's millions of people who are on YouTube. There's other people who will come on here and have some act right. Why are we allowing somebody like this millionaire mommy to come on here and act a fool? And then you can't, because of the law, you can't really discriminate against a breastfeeding mom, but that's not breastfeeding. That's not breastfeeding. That's exploiting your child. That's right up there with child corn, corn, and replace that with a P, if you know what I mean. So they're not. That's not beautifying the experience of being a mom who breastfeeds. That's not normalizing breastfeeding. You don't have to have your child covered up over a blanket. But one day, this fool, her son was on a bike, on like a little tricycle. Why was she still feeding him while he was trying to ride the tricycle? She done came up in his face and tried to do that. Yeah, what you cooked today? As a matter of fact, let me go check my wings, because I was late to the live today because I wanted to get my wings started. Now I'm trying to eat clean again, and I'm trying to uh, stay on a eating schedule so that you know I don't get overly hungry and start binging on potato chips and whatnot. So I wanted to put my chicken wings on, and they are done. I'm glad somebody said something about cooking, because honey, and they look good. I made some lemon pepper wings, guys. And of course, you already know I did a little video. So I will be showing you guys that later. What's up, Butterfly Family Vlogs? Thank you for joining my live. I hope you hit the like button when you came on in here. When you came on up in here. When you came on up in here. Um, I'm also gonna make some sweet potatoes and some spinach with my lemon pepper wings. I know that's a little bit left of center, but that's just what I'm making. I don't want to make French fries. I don't want to make French fries, so I'm just gonna make a sweet potato. I'm probably just gonna bake it in the oven, and then I'm gonna throw some butter on it and maybe some honey. Have you ever been to Outback and had their Their sweet potatoes, their baked sweet potatoes, they are so good. I think they put butter and honey and brown sugar on them. Yes, and I also have some spinach. Hmm. So that wing is good. I'm getting a little hungry. I had an omelet I made earlier with shiitake mushrooms and green onions and a little cheese. I gotta have my cheese, clean eating or not. You like salt and pepper and brown sugar and white sugar on your sweet potatoes? Oh, on sweet potato fries. I'm not making sweet potato fries. I'm gonna bake it. And I'm not really a fan of sweet potato fries. I've never cooked them myself though. So I've always had them at a restaurant. No, I'm not doing a mukbang. I'm just trying this piece of chicken. Good, good. Hmm. And that's what I'm not gonna do is a mukbang. Because I like to tear my food down. And I'm not about to gross everybody out on YouTube. Eat my food. Mm-mm. So yeah. And who else did we talk about? Did we talk about everybody on the pick? I'm not sure if we did. I'm sure we left somebody out. Um, who did we really get into? I think we talked about everybody. I talked about Tiana. I talked about Cooking with Jess. I talked about Melanie Renee and how I like her page and why I like her page. Um, I also talked about E. Kane a little bit. I talked about Peach McIntyre a lot. Peach McIntyre gives you a lot to talk about. Who is your favorite mommy blogger? Comment that in the chat. Which mommy blogger you like the most and why you like them? What do you like about them as a content creator? Even they're they're not subscribed to any. I heard that, Jazzy. You know what? I'm not subscribed to any of them either. Mm-mm. Not one. Not one of them. I mean, even the worst of them can be very entertaining, but I'm not giving them a like because I don't. I'm subscribed. Wait a minute. I'm subscribed to Tiana and I'm subscribed to Melanie Renee on Facebook, not on YouTube. So when I'm on Facebook, I might see their pages. But I haven't been on Facebook a lot lately. I've been on YouTube more and TikTok and Lemon 8 a little bit. Now, if you got this far and you're hanging out with me, I'm going to drop a little gem. If you're not using Lemonade, get on over there. Lemonade is popping. Especially if you like to cook, if you like to shop, if you're a makeup girly. And it's easy to use. It's kind of like TikTok, but it's not like TikTok. And you can put your links in your bio over there on Lemonade as well. I have my link tree up in my Lemonade. I'm always posting Walmart content, shopping content, cooking content on Lemonade. And my shopping content gets a lot of engagement. My beauty content gets a lot of engagement. So, yeah, head on over there to Lemonade. It's owned by TikTok or by the same people who own TikTok. So, if you don't have a Lemonade page, I highly suggest you have one. And you get I think it's easier to get followers over there too. So, hmm oh, what we do, save coins. I don't know who that is. There's also My Crazy Life. I didn't include her on the thumbnail because I don't watch a lot of My Crazy Life, and a lot of people don't talk about her. But I think she's fun, and I think that girl, come on in. I think she's fun, and I think that she has. I'll put it in here. And I think that she has a lot of good content. She does a lot of shopping and a lot of cooking on her channel, and she does show her family. But I have never seen anything negative from her. I think she's a good person to follow too, as far as if you want to see what kind of content you should put out there. And she's also an author. So when she had a book out already, but she did a second book, and I think it went viral. So if you have designs of being an author, if you have designs of doing different things as a content creator, then you should follow some of these mommy bloggers, or at least go check out their pages, because you can see what type of content people are interested in. And I know you don't want to probably make your page like theirs, but you can at the very least get a better picture of what's working for other people. And sometimes you just want to just go rogue and just go and do what you're going to do and not pay attention to what everybody else has going on. For real, for real. Because I think the best thing that can work for anybody on social media is just be consistent and to just be yourself. That seemed like, to me, that seemed like what really works. Is to just be yourself. So yeah. And I think that I also want to talk about, like, if you want to be a mommy blogger, now that we discussed all of those mommy bloggers and what mommy blogging is, and what's too much and what's not too much and what we don't like to see. I also think that, you know, if you're going to do this content creation thing, make it worth your while. Like, even if you're not making money, I'm opening a box I got from Sally. Even if you're not making money now, what other thing might motivate you as a content creator? You know, how can you make being a content creator something that is rewarding for you if you're not making money? What is your inspiration? What reasons do you have for being online? You know, I'm going to be honest. My whole ambition for being online, and my only ambition, is to make money. Now, but while I'm here, I do seek to, of service at the same time. Since I am here, I want to be an example of what a good single mother, not a good single mother, but what single motherhood looks like. I want to show myself in a positive way. I don't want to make it seem like my life is all bad, or like, oh, feel sorry for me. I don't want anybody feeling sorry for me. I don't want to ever make somebody feel like I can't hold my own as a mom. I won't come on here begging. Well, I don't know what I'll ever do. You know what I'm saying? Life will humble you. I'm not going to say that. What I will say is that it's my intention to show women that just because they're not married, just because they have children. I'm an older mom right now. You know, I do have older daughters, but right now, the children who are in my home, I'm like a premenopausal mom. 50 years old raising children still. Because I had, I was being fast in my 30s, the end of my 30s, so I still got teenagers to raise. When I should be chilling with some old man on a boat doing doing the 50s cruises or something like that. But yeah, I want to show other single moms that you can do it. You can be online. You don't have to be married, because most of the mommy sector they're married. A lot of them are married. You don't see a lot of, I guess there are single moms, but I don't see a lot of single moms. You know, people want to see that family dynamic. You know, they want to be all up in your business. Who are you married to? Who them babies' daddy? So for me, I just want to show people that you can be a successful mommy blog and be single. You don't have to come on here and act a fool. You don't have to come on here and be saccharine and just be, super positive. You can be yourself. And you don't have to envy anybody. You don't have to be, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. I feel like there is, that's right. Wait till this last little girl go on about her business and go off to college or something. I'ma have me a man, boo boo. I'ma have me a man living here with me. I'm gonna have me a man. Well, not right now. But yes, I also, that's another thing I want to promote as a single mom. For me, I feel like, and this is me being an old lady Christian again. I feel like mothers who are single mothers, I feel like until your children are grown and gone, I feel like you should be single. Now, I didn't say you couldn't date, and I didn't say you couldn't go around the corner and go meet up with your boo thing. But I feel like outside of that, because especially when you got teenagers older, they don't need you as much. You can have them going over to grandma's house for a little bit and go do you a 2-day getaway. It's a way you can do things as a mom. And I'm a Christian, but I'm not a Christian like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Wait till you marry, ladies. Don't spend a night with no man. Wait till you marry. Okay? But for real, I feel like if you're a mom, protect them babies at all costs. Always protect your babies, because they didn't ask to be here. And just because it didn't work out with their father, just because you didn't get it right, that doesn't mean that they should have to endure the circumstances that you are in. You don't get to do any do-overs with children. It's bad enough that they already had to endure you being a single mom and not being in a 2-parent household. Why would you bring somebody else in our household that they don't know, who they probably don't trust, and who they now have to compete with for your affection? And people will say, well, I got with a man and honey, my kids love him. Okay, that's cool. I'm sure there's somebody who could come along and say they struck it rich playing the lotto. But that's far and few between. And it's a gamble. Why gamble with your children's well-being? Because there's also a lot of women, and my mentors and my elders all say the same thing. Don't you let no man in that house with you and them girls. They always say that. You know. And my kids had a stepdaddy. I was married to him, but that's somebody I knew. I knew him for years before we went there. So even if you're going to, and that was crazy. So I just proved my own point. I didn't have to worry about him meddling with no kids, but he got on my nerves. And then my kids had to endure that, in that fiasco. And I try to protect them from that, And we had children as well, but, and then I was thinking, oh, my kids don't understand. They're too young. And until my child showed me, I very much do understand that you two are carrying on and acting a fool. All this going back and forth. I very much do understand that. And I don't like it. I don't like it. So that's what I want to show, that, you might see just me and all my girls, because I have friends, but you're not going to see me with a man on here. You're not going to see me with a man on YouTube just for the sake of saying I have a man. You're not going to see that because, if something doesn't work out with me and somebody I'm dating or a relationship, then it just didn't work out. And I have to hold my own. I have to suck it up, buttercup. I got to suck it up and I got to keep on going because I still got to raise my kids and they can't have me off my square. So that's another thing too. Like, as a mom, we face a lot. Even just, even if we are married, even if we have a good husband who treats us with the utmost respect, who's a provider and a protector, just having a baby can alter your life in so many ways. It can change you hormonally. You can end up with postpartum, and it's just a lot to carry a child and bring life into this world. I say that to say, protect your mental health at all costs, moms. You know what I mean? So make sure that you are the best you that you can be to raise your kids. If you bring a child into the world, then you are responsible for ensuring that that child has the very best outcome possible without, because there's no such thing as a good mom. There's no such thing as a good mom. I feel like there is a bad mom. There's a horrible mom. There's deadbeat moms and dads. But I feel like there's no such thing as a good mom because good parenting is raising your kids with the least amount of fractures. You taking care, as much care as possible. They might have a few cuts, but they're not broken. They're not fractured to the point of non-repair where they need to heal from how you raised them. They're trying to find out who they are and find their footing in life because you just broke them so badly. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel like. If you're a mom, do your very best as a mom. Show your children that they're not envious of a soul. They don't want you looking like, sometimes like they have this, they have that. I take them places and I've had my shortcomings. I haven't done it all right, but I think that I've done an okay job. I did the very best I could do. And my kids didn't see me on drugs. They haven't seen me chasing after a man. They haven't seen me putting anything or anyone ahead of them. So you don't have to be perfect as a mom. You don't have to be on this high pedestal. Your kids will love you no matter what. I've seen kids love dope fiends. I've seen them love dope fiends, and you can't tell them nothing about their mama. I've also seen kids, their moms give them everything in the world, and they can't stand their mama. Because yes, you took me here, yes, you took me there, yes, you made sure I had every pair of Jordans, but where was you at? You was never here. I would have rather had you here than a pair of Jordans. But yes, you loved me, but I was always at grandma's house. He's doing this and doing that. Or every time I turn around, you have a different man coming in here. And no, nobody didn't touch me or do nothing to me, but I got tired of I just needed my mama, you know? So long as you there, motherhood is all about showing up. Show up and grow up. Because you're going to grow with your kids. Even right now, at 50 years old, I'm growing up with my kids still. Still learning stuff. They'll tell me in a heartbeat, Mom, uh, that's gossiping. Don't watch that. That's gossiping on TV. Or would God like for you to do that? Because I teach my kids about God. They know who God is. I pray with my kids every day. Every single day I pray with them. And they would tell me in a heartbeat, oh no, Mama, you doing this and you doing that. Or Mama, remember when you said this and you did that? And I don't ever get mad at my kids. And I'll be like, yep, you right. because I'm teaching them to be morally of God. That's what I'm teaching them. And they know their mama cursed. Tell me in a minute, you're not supposed to be cursing. And I'm like, you're right. Or mama, why? But do they try? Sometimes, the girls got mouths on them. But no, they're not disrespectful. They just have their opinions and they're just speaking their mind. I'm not that type of mom that thinks that everything my child says, as long as they don't have a wrong tone or they're not trying to overtalk me. That's one thing I have to always tell them, look, slow your roll. And when I'm talking, you don't talk. If they don't do that, we're good. Because sometimes, most of the time, they just listen to me and, here go mama talking. They call me just yapping and yapping, and I am going to yap. I'm going to yap, 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 and yappity yap, yappity yap, yap, yap. Because as a mom, what I've come to know, and as someone who has worked with teens for over 20 years, what I know is this: kids are listening. Kids are listening. Put a one in the chat if you remember something adults said to you, whether it be negative or positive, and you still carry it with you. I remember it both. But I am the very woman I am today because I've always had an older mentor. From my godmother to my friends' mothers who had been through the school of life, and they had a lot of game to give. I'm telling you, the women who came up that they don't have that. They don't have older women that could give them game about life and about me. They don't have that. And I'm thankful to God that I had that. Growing up, I could remember so many things that the women back in the day told me when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, you know, and it definitely shaped who I am today. You know what I'm saying? I seen the women who were married and how their husbands treated them. I seen the women who were single and how they really got the job done. I respected a single mom. I respected her more than a married mom. And I'm not by any way, shape, or form coming down on a married woman because I feel like, as a Christian, I feel like everybody should be married. I feel like that it's okay to be a baby mom, but I know that it happens. But I'm just saying what I saw around me because single mothers had a different level of ambition because they didn't have that other person to rely on. Kendall raising kings, I thank God I did too. And now I tell my son stuff that I say now. You may think it makes no sense. As absolutely. And that's what my oldest daughter tells me. She said, you know, Mom, when you used to tell me this, I used to, but now I realize what you said was true. And I tell her a lot of things. She said, Mama, you were right about that person. And Mom, you was right about this. See what time it is with that new friend you got. I can see what they're not saying. I can hear what they're spirit. I don't know if that's really your friend. I don't know if that man is really good for you or how he really feels about you. I know how he feels about you by the way he came and approached me as your mama. I know how your friend thinks about you by just the way they carry themselves in my house. If you come in here not speaking, you don't care nothing about my being friends with my child, and you don't care nothing about coming to my house because you're not coming to my house or sitting in my house and you didn't. But I try to be more of what I had growing up, and when people were nice to me in spite of my shortcomings, and I try to yap a little bit and give them some little wisdom, but I also try to be a little bit more understanding because, like I said, these kids don't have a lot of people to love them and love on them and tell them you're going to be somebody. I had a godmother that told me, Charity, when you grow up, you're going to be immaculate. I know your kids are always going to be that, whatever you want to be. She used to tell me that all the time. And when I would mess up, she'd be like, oh no, goddaughter, no, 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 no. And I respected her. I respected her with the utmost. Even though, and you hear some kids say that, oh, I don't want to listen to somebody who's not doing what I'm doing or who's on the way my life is going. I feel like that's the most craziest thing I ever heard. If you're going to listen to anybody, you want to listen to somebody who made the mistakes so that you don't have to make the mistakes. If I see somebody going up a hill and they're going on their way to go search for a gold mine and they came back down unsuccessfully, I want to know how come you was unsuccessful. Because the person who already got the gold mine, they're not coming back down. They're going to keep on going. It's a person that you're going to see that failed on her down, and you can ask them, well, what did you do? Okay, I know not to go that way. I'm feeling good, K Money. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling good mentally and spiritually. Physically, not so much. Not so much. But, one day at a time. One day at a time. Who said hi? Who, honey? Oh, said hi. That's good, K Money. I plan to stay on here for a little bit out from the schoolhouse. Jay, you said you're going on at 6:30 or 7. Kendall, you going on tonight? Or when you going on live? A friend. Okay, Kendall, are you going live tonight, girlfriend? I hope I am better tomorrow too, because my daughter is graduating. What time do you think you're going live? I know Jazzy said she's going on at 6:30. I got two cell phones, laptops, TV, everything. I can be on like 9. Okay, I'm gonna try to set my timer for that. Let me see. Can I follow you from here? If I'm not, am I following you? Let me see. Kindles, Raising Kings. Let me make sure I'm following you. Do you already have like your live set up? Kindles. I hate how sometimes you can't go on here and look somebody up. They make it so difficult for you to search for somebody. Let me make sure I'm following you. I want to make sure I'm following everybody. University, and see, I couldn't get you, but you're right before. I do too because I tried to schedule a stream one time and it just went left. It didn't do right. I don't know what I did, but when I went back on there to try to go back on the live I scheduled, I couldn't get back in. So I don't know. Maybe because I scheduled it on my laptop, and when you schedule it on your laptop, it's something different. I think that's what I may have done. I'm not sure. But thank you guys for staying with me all day. We got 2 hours in. You guys were very engaging. I appreciate that. And I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.